Hey guys, this is Hakim. Welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to build this furniture app using React Native, so stay tuned. So this is what we are going to build in this video. Let me walk you guys through the app. So over here we have the home screen, and inside the home screen we have the header. Below the header we have a text of best furniture for your home, and below the text we have the search input, and over here we have the sort button. Below it we have the category list text, and over here we have the list of category, and once I click on it, it's going to select the category. Below the categories we have the text of top furniture, and over here we have the card for the top furnitures. This is just a card that holds the image of the furniture, the name, the price, and the rating. And over here we have a text of popular furniture. Below it we have the card of the popular furniture. And once I click on this card, it's going to take us to the details screen, and inside the details screen we have the header. Over here we have a title of details. Below the header we have the image of the furniture, and over here we have the rating and the number of reviews. Below the image we have the name of the furniture, the description of furniture, and also we have the price. Then over here we have the quantity of the item, and we have the button to add to the quantity or subtract from the quantity, which actually does not work. Then below it we have a button of add to cart, and over here we have the favorite icon. And once I click on this back button, it's going to take us back to the home screen. So this is what you are going to build in this video. If you like this kind of video, please like and share. And also if not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. Turn on post notifications so that you get notified anytime I upload a new video. And that's what I do. Let's start coding. Okay guys, so I did create a project and also have structured the project. So let me walk you guys through the structure of the project. So over here I created a folder called src. So this holds the source of the app, and inside the folder I created a folder called assets. So this holds the assets of the app, that is the furniture image of the app. Then over here I created a folder called const. So this holds the const file of the app. So it holds the color.js. So this is just a file that holds the color of app, the primary color, white color, dark color, light color, gray color, yellow color, and a red color. Then over here I exported the color. Right here I created the furnitures.js. So this is a file that holds the furniture of the app. So it's just an array with several objects. Each object holds an ID, name, image of the furniture, price, and a like property. Then over here I created a folder called views, and inside the views folder I created a folder called screens. So this screens folder holds the screen of the app. So there is a home screen.js. So it is the home screen component of the app. So I imported the color.js, and also I've imported the icon from vector icon. So we're making use of vector icon for the project. And also over here I created a width variable using the dimension API. Then inside the home screen component I returned the safe area view, and right here I've created the style sheet. Over here we have the details screen. Inside the details screen I import the icon, and also I've imported the colors from the colors file, and also I've returned the safe area view. Then inside the app.js, I brought in the navigation container. So making use of React navigation for the navigation, and also I bring in the stack navigator. So making use of the stack navigator. So right here I returned the navigation container, and also I added the status bar component. I gave it a background color of white, and also I gave it a bar style of dark content. So this is going to give the item in the status bar a dark color, which is going to allow it to show up in this white background. Then below it I define the screen, the home screen, and also the details screen. So that's all for the structure of the project. Let's start coding the app. So we are going to start by working on the home screen. So right here we are going to add the header inside the home screen. So for the home screen we are going to start by styling the safe area view component. So I'm going to give it a style. We'll give it a background color of white. So say background color, I'll say colors.white. Then we'll give it a flex of 1. So this is going to allow it to take the full width and the full height. So I'm going to hit save. So that's all for the safe area view component. So right now I'm going to start working on the header. So for the header we are going to add a view. Then inside the view we are going to add the both icons. So over here we add a view component. So for the view component we are going to give it a style of header. So add the style. So say style. I'll say style dot header, and right now I'm going to start styling the header style. So for the header style, we are going to give the padding vertical of 20 pixels. So say padding vertical, give 20 pixels. Then give it a flex direction of row. So we want to position the item from left to right. Then we are going to give it a justify content or space between and a padding horizontal of 20 pixels. So say justify content, space between. Then we'll give it a padding horizontal of 20 pixels. A padding horizontal. Then we'll give it 20 pixels. And that's all for the header style. So right now I'm going to start adding the icon inside the header. So bring in the icon component. Then we'll give it a name of sort variant for the first icon. So say sort dash variant. I'll hit save. So right now we have the first icon. So now we are going to add a size to the icon. So give it a size. I'll give it a size of 28 pixels. And also we give it a color. So say color. I'll get the color from the color object. So say colors.primary. So give it a primary color. So I hit save. So right now we have the first icon. So the next step, I'm going to add this cat icon. So over here, I'm going to duplicate this icon, and right here I'm going to change it to cat dash outline. So say cat dash outline. Hit save. So right now we have the both icon. So that's all for the header component. So right now we're going to add this text over here. But before we do that, we are going to add a scroll view component. So below this view, we'll add a scroll view component. So say scroll view. And also we are going to disable the scroll bar. So to do that, we'll say show vertical scroll indicator and we'll set it to false. So this is going to get rid of the scroll bar. So right now we're going to add the best furniture for your home text. Inside the scroll view component, we are going to add a text component, and let's import the component. So for the text component, we are going to add the text. So I'm going to get the text and I'm going to paste the text right here. So right now we have the text. So we are going to start styling the text. So for the text component, we are going to give it a style. We give it a style of header title. So say style dot header title. And right now we're going to add the style. So for this style, we are going to give it a font size of 23 pixels. We give it a font weight of bold. Then we'll give it a width of 55%. So we want to take only 55% of the available width. Then also we are going to give it a line height of 30 pixels and a padding horizontal of 20 pixels. So it's a line height, say 30 pixels and a padding horizontal of 20 pixels. Hit save. So that's all for the text. So right now we are going to add this search input and also the sort button. So for the search input and the sort button, we are going to add a view. So this view is going to hold the input and button. So over here below the text component, we are going to add a view. And for this view, we are going to give some style. So we'll add a style. We'll give it a flex direction of row. We'll give it a justify content or space between and a padding of 20 pixels. So say justify content, space between, then we'll give it a padding of 20 pixels. So say padding, give it 20 pixels. Hit save. So that's all for this view component. So right now I'm going to start working on the search. And for the search input, we are going to add a view. So the view is going to hold the search icon and also is going to hold the input. So over here we'll add a view, and for this view we are going to give it a style of search input container. So say style and say style dot search input container. So I'm going to get the style and I'm going to start styling it. So for the search input container, we are going to give it a height of 50 pixels. So say height, give 50 pixels. We get a background color of light. So say background color. So get it from the colors object. I'll say dot light. Hit save. Then right now we're going to give it a flex of 1. So say flex. We'll give it 1. I hit save. So right now we have the search input. So the next step, we are going to give it a border radius. So say border radius and give it 12 pixels. Then give it a flex direction of row. Then I'll give it align item of center and a padding horizontal of 20 pixels. So say align items center, and padding horizontal of 20 pixels. So padding horizontal 20 pixels. So I think that's all for the search input container style. So right now we are going to add the search icon and also the text input. So inside the search input container, we are going to add an icon component. Then we are going to give it a name of magnify for the icon. So say name, and say magnify, hit save. So right now we have the search icon. So now we are going to add some color to it, and the color we are going to make use of is the gray color. So say colors.gray, and also we are going to give it a size of 25 pixels. So say size and give 25. So I'm going to hit save. So right now we have the search icon. So the next step, we are going to add the text input. So add the text input, and I'm going to import the text input. So for the text input, we are going to give it a placeholder of search, and that's all for the search input. So the next step, we are going to add the sort button. So to add the sort button, we are going to add a view. So this view is going to hold this sort icon over here. So below the search input, we are going to add a view. So add a view, and for the view, we are going to give it a style of sort btn. So say style, and say style dot sort btn. So I'm going to get the style, and I'm going to start styling it. So for the sort btn style, we give the background color of primary. So say colors.primary. Then we'll give it a height of 50 pixels and a width of 50 pixels. Hit save. So right now we have the sort btn. So the next step, we're going to add a border radius to it. So say border radius, and give 12 pixels. Then also we are going to give it a justify content of center align items of center. So this is going to center the icon inside the sort button. So say justify content center, then give align items of center. Hit save. So right now the next step, we are going to add some margin between the search input and the sort button. So over here we'll say margin left, we'll give it 10 pixels. And that's all for the sort button style. So right now we're going to add the icon inside the sort button. So for the icon, we'll add the icon component, and we're going to give it an icon of tone. Then we'll give it a color of white. So say color, and say colors.white. Also we are going to give it a size of 25 pixels. So say size 25 pixels. And that's all for the sort btn. So I think we are done with the search input and the sort btn. So the next step, we are going to add the category text, and we are going to add the list of the categories. So below the search input container, we'll add a text component, and for the text component, we give it a text of categories, and we are going to style the categories text. So since the category text, top furniture and popular text are similar, we are going to create a style called title, and we are going to apply it to this text component. So right here we'll create a style, the style dot title. I'm going to get a style, and over here for the title style, we give it a font size of 18 pixels. The font size, give it 18 pixels. A font width of bold. Then give the padding horizontal of 20 pixels. So say padding horizontal, and give 20 pixels. And that's all for the category text. So the next step, we are going to add the category list. So to add the category, we are going to create a component called list categories. So this is going to list the categories. So over here, we'll create a component, say const list categories. And for the category list, we are going to return a view. So say return a view. So right now I'm going to get the list categories component. I'm going to add it below the category text. So say list categories. I'm going to add it over here. So we are going to continue working on the component. So for this view, we are going to give it a style of categories container. So this is going to hold all the categories. So right here we'll say style, and say style dot categories container, and I'm going to get the style. So for the style, we are going to give it a flex direction of row. So it's a flex direction. We'll give it row. Then we'll give it a justify content or space between and a padding of 20 pixels. So justify content, space between, and a padding of 20 pixels. And that's all for this style. So right now we're going to start adding the categories. So for the categories, we are going to bring in the categories item. So it's just an array of the several categories. So I'm going to get the categories item and I'm going to paste it over here. So over here we have the categories item is an array with objects. So each object has the name of the category and the icon name of the category. So right now we are going to take this array and we are going to map through the array and render the various categories. So over here we are going to take the array. So we'll say category item, then we'll say dot map. And while mapping, we are going to return a view. So return a view. Then over here, we are going to bring in the item and also the index. So say item index. So I hit save. So right now, we are going to start styling this view. That is this category buttons over here. So for the view, we are going to give it a style. So say style. Then we are going to add the square bracket because we are going to add multiple style. So over here we add the first style and we'll say style dot category item btn. That is for the category btn. So right now I'm going to take this style and I'm going to start styling it. So for this style we are going to give it a flex direction of row. So say flex direction. We'll give it row. Then we'll give it a background color of light color. So say background color and say colors dot light. Then give it a padding of 10 pixels, a border radius of 7 pixels, and align items of center. So say border radius 7 pixels and we'll give align items of center. And that's all for the category item btn. So right now I'm going to start adding the item inside the view. So the item I'm talking about is the icon and the text over here. So inside the view, we are going to add the icon component. And for the icon component, we are going to give it a name. So say name. And we are going to get the name from the item. So say item dot icon name. So I hit save. So right now we have the icons. So the next step, we are going to add a size to the icon. So give it a size of 20 pixels. Then we are going to add a color to the icon. So for the color, we are going to give it a color of primary for now. So say colors dot primary. Hit save. So right now we have the icon. So the next step, I want to add a text component for the category name. So right here, we'll add a text component and we are going to bring in the name. So for the name, we'll say item dot name. So right now we have the name for the categories. So now we are going to style the text component. So we'll say style. We are going to add an array because we are going to add multiple style. So the first style we are going to add is the category text style. So say style dot category text. For the category text, we are going to give it a font size of 13 pixels. So say font size, give 13 pixels. We'll give it a font weight of bold. We'll give it a color of primary and a margin left of 5 pixels. So say color and say colors.primary. Then we'll give it a margin left of 5 pixels. So that's all for the text. So right now I'm going to add the select functionalities to the category. So I want to be able to select the category once we click on any of these buttons over here. So to do that, we're going to add a state. So this state is going to keep track of the selected category index, which we are going to use to check if the index is equals to the current index. Then we'll apply a certain style, else we apply the main style. So over here, we are going to add a state. So say const, and we are going to add the selected category index state. So say selected category index, and also add a variable to set the index. So say set selected category index. Then over here we are going to set it to react.useState. So say react.useState. Then we are going to give it a default index of 0. So right now for the category item btn, we are going to add a background color of primary if it's selected. Else we are going to add a light color. So over here I'm going to add an object. I'll say background. Then we'll say selected category index is equals to the current index. That means this category is selected. We are going to add the primary color. So say colors.primary. Else we'll add the light color. So say colors.light. So right now it has selected the first category. That is because the index is 0 by default. So if I change this to 1, it's going to select second category. So let me change it back to 0. Hit save. So right now we're going to do the same thing for the icon. So for the icon over here, we are going to check if it's selected. We'll give it a white color, else we'll give it a primary color. So say if selected category index is equals to the current index, we'll say colors.white, else we'll say colors.primary. So right now we have the white color for the icon. Then over here, we are going to add the condition to the category name. So right here, I'm going to add an object. Then for the color, we'll say if selected category index is equals to index, then we'll apply the white color, else we'll apply the primary color. So colors.white, else we'll say colors.primary. Hit save. So right now it's going to apply the white color to the text if it's selected, else it's going to apply the primary color to the text if it's not selected. So now I want to be able to click on each of these category and select the category. So to do that, we are going to wrap this view with a touchable opacity component. Over here we'll bring in a touchable opacity component. Then I'm going to get the view, that is the item btn view. I'm going to put it inside the touchable opacity component. Let's make sure we import the component. Then over here, we're going to add the unpressed props. Then for the unpressed props, we want to call the set selected category index. Then we'll pass in the index, which is going to select the category. Then over here, we are going to bring in the key props. So I want to get rid of the key warning issue. So I'm passing the index, and also we are going to bring in the active opacity props. Then we are going to increase the opacity. So right now if I click on this, it's going to set the selected category index to the current index, which is going to select the category. So right now as you can see, it has selected the table category, and also it has selected the cupboard category. So that's all for the category list. So right now I'm going to start adding this card. Before I do that, we're going to add the top furniture text. So below the list categories component, we're going to add a text component. And for the text component, we give it a text of top furniture. We'll say top furniture. Then over here, we're going to apply the same title style to the text component. So I hit save. So right now we have the top furniture text. So right now we're going to start adding these top furniture cards. So to add the card, we are going to add a flat list. So this flat list is going to list the component. So it's a flat list. And let's make sure we import the flat list correctly. So this should be here. And I'm going to get rid of this. So for the flat list component, we want it to list the card horizontally. So give it a props of horizontal. Then also we want to get rid of the scroll bar. So say show horizontal scroll indicator, and we'll set it to false. Then over here we are going to add the data props. So this is going to be the list of the furnitures. So say data, then we'll bring in the furnitures. So right now we are going to add the render item. So this render item is going to be a card component which we are going to create right now. So say render item, which is going to be a card component. For the card component, it's going to take in a props of furniture, and it's going to be the item props. So say item, and over here we're going to get the item. So right now we're going to create the card component. So for the card component, we'll say const card, which is going to return a view. So say return. And for the view, we are going to give it a style of card. So say style, and say style.card. So right now we're going to add the style. For the card style, we give the height of 190 pixels, a background color of white. So say colors.white. Then we are going to give it an elevation of 10 pixels. So say elevation is 10 pixels. Then over here we are going to give it a width. So the width is going to be the screen width divided by 2.5. So we want each card to take about half of the screen width. Then over here we are going to give it a margin right of 20 pixels. So say margin right, give 20 pixels, hit save. So right now we have the card listed. So the next step, we're going to add a padding of 10 pixels. So say padding 10 pixels, a margin vertical of 20 pixels, and a border radius of 10 pixels. The margin vertical, give 20 pixels, then give it a border radius of 10 pixels. And that's all for the card style. Right now we're going to add some margin over here. So to do that, inside the flat list, we'll give it a content container style, and we'll give it a padding left of 20 pixels. So say padding left, give 20 pixels. So right now we have some padding over here. So now we are going to start adding the items inside the card. So the first element we are going to add is the image component. So inside the card component, we are going to add an image component. So say image, and also let's import the image. Then for the image component, we are going to give it a source. So before we give it a source, let's bring in the props of furniture. Then over here for the source, we'll say furniture.image. So this is going to render the image. So right now I want to style the image component, and for the image component we are going to give it a height of 120 pixels. We'll give it a width of 100%. So once you take the full width, then we'll give it a border radius of 10. Border radius, and give it 10 pixels. Hit save. And that's all for the image component. So the next step, we're going to add the name of the furniture. So below the image component, we're going to add a text component. So over here, we'll add a text component. And right here, we're going to bring in the furniture name. So say furniture.name. And for the text component, we're going to give it a style of card name. So say style, and say style dot card name. Then over here we are going to get the style, and I'm going to start styling it. For the card name style, we are going to give it a margin top of 10 pixels. So say margin top, give 10 pixels. We'll give it a font size of 12 pixels. So say font size, give 12 pixels. Then I'll give it a color of primary and a font weight of bold. I'll say colors, I'll say colors dot primary. Then we'll give it a font weight of bold. So right now we have the furniture name. So the next step, I'm going to add the price and the rating over here. So for the price and the rating, we are going to add a view. So this view is going to hold the price and the rating. So over here below the text component, we'll add a view. So for this view, we are going to give it a style. The style, we'll give it a margin top of 5 pixels, a flex direction of row, and a justify content or space between. So it's a flex direction, give it row, then we'll give it a justify content of space between. So right now I'm going to start adding the price and the rating. And for the price, we'll add a text component, and to add the price, we'll say furniture dot price. So right now we have the price. So the next step, I'm going to add the style for the price. So for the style, we give it a style of style dot price. So I'm going to get it, and I'm going to start styling it. So over here for the price style, we are going to give it a font weight of bold. Then we'll give it a color of primary and a font size of 12 pixels. So say color and say colors dot primary and a font size of 12 pixels. So right now we have the price. So the next step, we are going to add the rating. And to add the rating, we are going to add a view. This view is going to hold the icon and also is going to hold the number of rating. So below the text component, we are going to add a view component. And for the view component, we are going to give it a style. So say style. We give it a flex direction of row and a margin left of 10 pixels. So say flex direction, give it row, then we give it a margin left of 10 pixels. So say margin left 10 pixels. Then inside the view, we are going to add the icon. So this should be a capital V, not small v. So over here, we are going to add the icon component. And for the icon component, we are going to give it a name of star. So say star. And we are going to give it a color of yellow. So say color. And say colors dot yellow. And over here, we are going to give it a size of 18 pixels. So say size. And we'll say 18 pixels. Hit save. So right now we have the icon. So I'm going to add the number of rating. So for the number of rating, we'll add the text component. I'll give it a rating of 4.3. Then I'll give it a style of rating. So say style. I'll say style dot rating. So right now I'm going to get the style. So for the rating style, we give it a font weight of bold. So font weight, give it bold. We'll give it a color of primary and a font size of 12 pixels. So say color and say colors dot primary. Then we'll give it a font size of 12 pixels. And that's all for the star and the number of rating. So that's all for the top furniture card. So right now we're going to add the popular cards over here. So for the popular cards, below the flat list, we're going to add another flat list. But before we do that, I'm going to take this text component over here. I'll paste it right here. Then we'll change this to popular. So this is for the popular text. Then over here, I'm going to take this flat list component also. I'll paste it right here. So I'm going to change this to popular item card. So right now I'm going to add this popular item card component. So over here we'll add the component. We'll say const popular item card. And for the popular item card, we are going to return a view. So return a view. For the view, we are going to give it a style of popular item card. So say style. I'll say style dot popular item card. So over here I'm going to get this style and I'm going to start styling it. But before we continue working on the popular item card, we forgot to add this icon inside the top furniture card. So to do that, inside the top furniture card, we are going to add a view. So this view is going to hold the icon. So we are going to give this view a style of icon container. So say style. I'll say style dot icon container. So I'm going to get the style. I'm going to start styling it. So for the icon container style, we are going to give it a height of 25 pixels. We give it a width of 25 pixels also. Then we'll give it a background color of white. I'll say background color. I'll say colors dot white. Then over here we are going to give it a position of absolute, because we want to be able to position it absolute to this view. So it's a position absolute. We'll give it an elevation of 2 pixels. So this is the icon container over here. So right now we're going to position it to the right. So to do that, we give it a right of 15 pixels and also a top of 15 pixels. So say top and say 15 pixels. Hit save. So right now we have the icon container. So the next step, I want to give it a border radius of 15 pixels. So this is going to give it the round shape. So say border radius, give 15 pixels. Then give it a justify content of center and align items of center. So this is going to center the icon both vertically and horizontally inside the view. Now hit save. So right now we're going to add the heart icon. So inside the view, we are going to add the icon component, and we are going to give it a name of heart. So say name and give it heart. So right now we have the heart icon. The next step, we are going to add the color to the icon, but this icon has different colors. So the icon is set to a red color if the like prop is true, else it's set to the primary color. So to do that, so for the color props, we are going to get the like property. So say furniture.liked, and we're going to check if it's liked. So if it's liked, we'll apply the red color, else we'll apply the primary color. So say colors.primary. So I'll hit save. So right now we have the icon with different colors. So it has a red color if it's liked, else it has the primary color. So that's all for the card component. So let's go back to the popular item card. And for the popular item card, I'm going to take the style and I'm going to continue styling it. So over here, I'm going to add the style. And for the style, we give the height of 90 pixels. Then we'll give it a width of width minus 100 pixels. So say width and give it width minus 100 pixels. Then we are going to give it a background color of white. So say background color and give it colors dot white. We give it an elevation of 10. So say elevation, give it 10 pixels. Hit save. So right now we have the popular cards. The next step, I'm going to give it a margin vertical of 20 pixels. So say margin vertical, give 20 pixels. Then also we give it a margin right of 20 pixels. So say margin right, give 20 pixels, hit save. So right now I'm going to add some border radius to it. So say border radius, give it 10 pixels, and also give it a flex direction of row. So say flex direction, give it row. Hit save. And that's all for the popular item style. So right now we're going to start adding the items inside the card. So the first component I'm going to add is the image component. So inside the view component, we are going to add an image component. So we are going to bring in the props, the furniture props. Then for the image component, we are going to give it a source of furniture-image. So say source, and say furniture-image. Hit save. So right now we have the image. So now we are going to style the image component. For the style, we give it a width of 100 pixels. So say width 100 pixels. We give it a height of 100%. This should be width, not height. So right now we have the image. So the next step, we're going to add some border to it. So give it a border top left radius of 10 pixels. So say border top left radius, give 10 pixels. Then also we give it a border bottom left radius. Bottom left radius, we give 10 pixels also. So I hit save. So right now we have the round shape. So the next step, I'm going to give it a margin right of 10 pixels. So want a space between the name, price, and the image. So over here, we'll say margin right. Give it 10 pixels. Hit save. So that's all for the image component. So right now, we're going to add a view. So this view is going to hold the name, the price, and the rating. So below the image component, to add a view, we'll say view. And for the view, we are going to give it a style. We give the padding vertical of 15 pixels. Then we give it a justify content of center. Hit save. So right now we're going to add the furniture name. So for the name, we'll say furniture dash name. And for the style, we are going to give it the card style. So say style dot card style. So that's the same style we applied to this first card image. So right now we're going to add the view that is going to hold the price and the rating. So over here we'll add a view, and for this view we are going to give it a style. So say style, we'll give it a flex direction of row Then we are going to give it a margin left of 10 pixels. So say margin left, give 10 pixels. Then inside the view, we are going to add the icon component. And for the icon component, we are going to give it a name of star. So say star. Then give it a color of yellow. So say color. I'll say colors dot yellow. And give it a size of 18 pixels. So say size. Then we'll give it 18 pixels. Hit save. So right now we have the star icon. So now we are going to add the number of rating. So add the text component, and you are going to add the rating. So for the rating, we'll give it 4.3. Then for the text component, we are going to give it a style of rating. So say style, and say rating. So right now I'm going to add the style. For the rating style, we'll give it a font weight of bold. So say font weight, we'll give it bold. Then we'll give it a color of primary and a font size of 12 pixels. So say color, and say colors dot primary. Then we'll give it a font size of 12 pixels. So say font size, give 12 pixels. Hit save. So right now we have the star and the number of rating, but actually we forgot to add the price over here. So to add the price, we are going to add a view. So below the furniture name, we are going to add a view. So this view is going to hold the price and this rating. So I'm going to get this rating. I'm going to put it right here. And for the view, we are going to give it a style of flex direction. We'll give it row. Then we are going to give it a margin top of 10 pixels. So it's a margin top, give it 10 pixels, hit save. So inside the view, we are going to add a text component for the price. So say text, and we are going to bring in the price. For the price, we'll say furniture dash price. So right now we have the price, so we are going to add the price style to it. So say style, I'll say style dot price. That is the same style we apply for this price over here. So I think that's all for the popular card. So the next step, we want to be able to navigate to the detail screen once we click on this card. So to do that, inside the card component, we're going to add the pressable component. So I'm going to take this view, then I'm going to put it inside the pressable component, and also let's import the pressable component. Then for the pressable component, once we click on it, we want to navigate to the detail screen. So inside the pressable component, we're going to add the unpressed props. So say unpressed, and for the unpressed props, we want to navigate to the detail screen. So to do that, to make use of the navigation props, then say navigate. I want to navigate to the home screen. So I'm going to get the name of the detail screen right here. I'm going to paste it over here. And while navigating, you want to pass in the furniture details also. So bring in the furniture object. So right now, if I click on this, it's going to take us to the detail screen. And that's all for the home screen. So right now, I'm going to start working on the detail screen. So I'm going to close the home screen and also close the furniture.js and the app.js. For the detail screen, I'm going to start by styling the safe area view also. So say style. And for the safe area view, we give the flex of 1, then a background color of white. So say colors.white. Hit save. So right now, I'm going to start working on the header. So for the header, we are going to add a view. So this view is going to hold this icon and the title of details. So right here, I'll add the view component, and we're going to give it a style of header. So I'll say style, I'll say style dot header. And for the header style, we're going to give it a padding vertical of 20 pixels. We give it a flex direction of row. Then we'll give it a justify content or space between. Align items of center and padding horizontal of 10 pixels. So say align items, center, then padding horizontal of 10 pixels. Hit save. So I'm going to navigate back to the detail screen. So let's import the view. So import the view component. So right now I want to start adding the buttons inside the headers. That is this back button, this option button, and also this title over here. So to do that, we are going to add a view. So this view is going to hold the icon. So this icon over here. So add a view. Say view. And for the view, we are going to give it a style of header btn. Say style dot header btn. I'm going to get the style and I'm going to start styling it. For the header btn style, we're going to give it a height of 50 pixels. We'll give it a width of 50 pixels also. Then we'll give it a background color of light. So say colors dot light. We give it a border radius of 10 pixels. Then a justify content of center and align items of center. So this is going to center the icon inside the view. And that's all for the header btn. So right now I'm going to start adding the icon inside the view. So for the icon, we are going to bring in the icon component and we want to add the back icon, which is chevron dash left. So say name, and I'm going to bring in the icon name. So this is the icon over here. So now we are going to give it a size. We'll give it a size of 25 pixels. So right now we have the icon. So once the user click on this icon, we want to be able to navigate back to the home screen. So to do that, we'll add the unpress props to the icon. And once the user click on the icon, we're going to call the navigation.goback method. So I hit save. So right now if I click on this icon, it's going to take me back to the home screen. So right now we're at the home screen. So I'm going to navigate back to the tail screen. So the next step, I want to add the option icon. So to do that, I'm going to duplicate this icon and I'm going to change this to the option icon. And also I'm going to get rid of this unpress props. So we don't want to go back if we click on this option icon. So I'll get rid of it, hit save. So right now we have the other icon. So the next step, we're going to add the details title over here. That is this text over here. So to do that, between the icons, we are going to add a text component. And we're going to give it a text of details. Right now, we're going to style the text. But before we do that, we're going to import the text component also. Then for the text, we're going to give it a font weight of bold. So say style, give font weight of bold. And also we'll give it a font size of 18 pixels. The font size, 18 pixels. And that's all for the details text. So that'll be all for the header. So right now I'm going to start working on this image over here. So below the header, we're going to add the image component. Before we do that, we're going to add a scroll view component. So for the scroll view component, we're going to get rid of the scroll bar. So say show vertical scroll indicator, and we're going to set it to false. So now we're going to add the image component. So we're going to make use of the image background. So the reason we are making use of the image background is because we want to be able to add element inside the image. So with the image background, we can add other component inside the image. So over here, we'll bring in the image background component. So it's image background. And also, let's make sure we import it. So for the image background component, we are going to give it a style. So we'll give it a style of background image. So say style, and say style dot background image. So for the image background style, we are going to give it a margin horizontal of 20 pixels. Then we'll give it a height of 300 pixels. We'll give it a border radius of 15 pixels and overflow of hidden. Border radius of 15 pixels. Then we'll give it overflow of hidden. So the reason I'm adding this overflow of hidden is because I want this border radius to apply to the component. So for some weird reason, the border radius does not apply to it unless you add this overflow of hidden to. So right now we're going to bring in the image. So to bring in the image, we are going to get a furniture object we passed from the home screen. So to get the object, we are going to bring in the route props, and for the object we are going to call it furniture. So say const furniture, and it's going to be route.params. So we are going to get the object we passed from this params object over here. So right now, if I console log the furniture, so if I console log it, so as you can see, we have the object with the ID of 1, the image, the liked is true, the name, and the price. So right now I'm going to add the image to the image background component. So inside the image background component, we'll give it a source. I'll say furniture.image, hit save, and right now we have the furniture image. So the next step, we're going to add this rating inside the image over here. So to do that, we are going to add a view. So this view is going to hold the rating and the number of reviews. So inside the image background, we'll add a view. So say view, and for the view, we are going to give it a style. So say style. We'll give it a height of 60 pixels. Then we'll give it a width of 70 pixels. A background color of primary. So say background color. And say colors dot primary. Hit save. So right now we have the view. So the next step, I'm going to give it a position of absolute. So I want to be able to position it absolute to this image background component, and we're going to give it a bottom of 0. So I want to position it to the bottom over here. So say bottom, we'll give it 0, and also want it to move it to the right. So say right, then we'll give it 0 also. So right now we have it at the right. So the next step, we're going to give it a justify content of center and align items of center. So this is going to center the items inside the view. So say justify content center, then give it align items center. So right now I'm going to start adding the rating and the number of the reviews. So for the rating, we are going to add a view. So this view is going to hold the star and also this number of rating over here. So inside this view, we'll add another view. And for this view, we are going to give it a style. So give it a style of flex of row. We'll say style. I'll say flex direction. We'll give it row. Then we'll give it an align items of center. Align items center. Then we'll give it a margin bottom of 5 pixels. So it's a margin bottom 5 pixels. Hit save. So right now we're going to add the icon and also the number of rating. So over here we'll add the icon component and we'll give it the name of star. Then we're going to give it a color of yellow. So say color, I'll say colors dot yellow. Then I'll give it a size of 18 pixels. So say size, give it 18 pixels. So right now we're going to add the number of the rating. So I'm going to add a text component, then I'll give it a rating of 4.5. Then we are going to style the text component. And for the style, we are going to give it a font size of 10 pixels. Then I'll give it a color of white. And I'll give it a font weight of bold. So say font weight, give it bold. So we have the star and the number of rating. So now we are going to add the number of reviews. So to add the number of reviews, below the view that is holding the icon and the number of rating, I want to add a text component. Then we are going to give it a review of 250 reviews. Then we are going to give it a style also. So for this style, we are going to give it a font size of 9 pixels. Then we'll give it a color of white. We'll say colors.white. Then we are going to give it a font weight of bold. So right now we have the rating and the number of the reviews. So the next step, we're going to add this curve shape. So to add the curve shape over here, the view that is holding the rating and the number of reviews, we are going to give it a border top left radius of 15 pixels. Border top left radius and give 15 pixels. Hit save, and that's all for the view. So right now I'm going to add the name, then we'll add the description. So to add the name, below the image component, we are going to add a view. So this view is going to hold both the name, the description, the price, the add to cart buttons over here. So it's basically going to hold all the whole elements over here. So below this view, I'm going to add a view. We are going to give the view a style of details container. So I'll say style. I'll say style dot details container. So I'm going to add the style and I'm going to start styling it. For the details container style, I'm going to give it a flex of 1. Then give it a padding horizontal of 20 pixels. So a padding horizontal 20 pixels. Then I'll give it a margin top of 40 pixels. It's a margin top, okay, 40 pixels. So I hit save, and that's all for the details container. So right now I'm going to add the furniture name. So for the furniture name over here, we are going to add a text component. Add text component. I'll get the name from the furniture object. So say furniture dash name. So now we are going to style the name. So give it a style. We give it a font size of 20 pixels. Then we give it a font weight of bold. Then we are going to give it a color of primary. So say color. I'll say colors dot primary. Hit save. So right now we have the furniture name. So the next step, we're going to add the description text over here. So below the furniture name, we are going to add another text component. So I'm going to duplicate this text component. I'll change this to description. And over here, I'm going to modify the style. So we are going to give it a margin vertical of 20 pixels. Then we are going to change this to 16 pixels. And that's all for this text component. So right now we're going to add the description. So for the description, I'm going to duplicate the text component also. Then over here, I'm going to get the description. So I get description. I'll paste it right here. Then for the description, we are going to get rid of the font weight. Then we are going to give it a font size of 12 pixels, a color of dark. Then we'll give it a line height of 20 pixels. That's a line height, 20 pixels. And also we are going to get rid of the margin vertical. So that's all for the description text. So right now we're going to add the price, and also we are going to add this number of quantity and also these buttons over here. So to add the price and the number of quantity, below the description text, we are going to add a view. So this view is going to hold the price and the number of quantity. So we are going to style the view. So for this style, we'll give it a margin vertical of 20 pixels. So it's a margin vertical. We give it 20 pixels. Then we are going to give it a flex direction of row. Flex direction. Give it row. Then we'll give it a justify content or space between. Justify content and say space between. So I'm going to hit save. So right now I'm going to add the price. So inside the view, we are going to add the text component. I'm going to get the price from the price object. So say furniture dot price. So right now we have the price. So I'm going to style the price. And for the style, we are going to give it a font size of 22 pixels. So say font size. Give 22 pixels. Then give it a color of yellow. So say colors dot yellow. Then we are going to give it a font weight of bold. So it's a font weight. Then we'll give it bold. And that's all for the price. So right now we're going to add the quantity, and also we are going to add these buttons over here. So to add the quantity below the text component, we are going to add a view. So this view is going to hold both the button and the quantity. So over here, we'll add a view, and we're going to give it a style of quantity container. We'll say style, and we'll say style dot quantity container. container. So I'm going to get this style and I'm going to start styling it. So for the quantity container style, we are going to give it a height of 35 pixels. Then we'll give it a width of 100 pixels. So 100 pixels. We give it a background color of primary. It's a background color. Don't say colors.primary. So right now we have the view. So we're going to give it a border radius of 7 pixels. Align items of center and a justify content or space between. So say align items, center, and we'll say justify content of space between. And that's all for this style. So right now we're going to add the buttons. So to add the buttons, we are going to add a view. And for the view, we are going to give it a style of quantity btn. So say style, I'll say style dot quantity. So this should be quantity, not quantity. Quantity btn. And for the style, we give it a height of 25 pixels, a width of 25 pixels also. We give it a background color of white. Let's say background color, let's say colors.white. Then we'll give it a border radius of 7 pixels. So border radius, give 7 pixels. We'll give it a margin horizontal of 5 pixels. Justify content of center and align items of center. So this is going to center the icon inside the view. So right now we are going to add the icon. So bring in the icon component. And for the icon, we are going to give it a name of plus. So plus. Then we'll give it a size of 20 pixels. So it's a size 20 pixels. Then right now I'm going to duplicate this. Then I'm going to change this to minus for the second icon. So right now we have the icon. So we are going to modify this quantity container style. So for the style, we have to give it a flex direction of row. So the flex direction, and we'll give it row. So right now we have the btns. So the next step, we're going to add the number of quantity itself. And to do that, between this btn, we're going to add a text component. So add a text component over here. I want to give it a quantity of 1. Then also we are going to style it. So give it a style. For the style, we give it a color of white. It's a colors.white. Then we'll give it a font weight of bold. So it's a font weight. Give it bold. Hit save. So right now we have the quantity and also we have the btn. And that's all. So right now I'm going to start working on this icon and also this add to cart button. So to do that, below this view, we're going to add another view. So this view is going to hold the add to cart button and also the icon. So for the view, we're going to give it a style. We'll give it a flex direction of row. And we'll give it an align items of center. So say align items, give center. So right now we're going to add the icon over here. So to add the icon, we are going to add a view. So inside the view, we'll add another view. And also we're going to style the view. For the style, give it a height of 50 pixels, a width of 50 pixels also. Then we'll give it an elevation of 7 pixels. So it's elevation 7 pixels. Then we'll give it a margin right of 30 pixels. So say margin right 30 pixels. And over here, I'm going to get a background color of white. So say colors.white. So right now we have the icon. So the next step, I'm going to give it a justify content of center and align items of center. And also we are going to give it a border radius of 25 pixels to give it a round shape. So right now we have the icon container. So now we're going to add the icon itself. So add the icon and give it a name of heart. So say heart. Then we're going to give it a color of primary. So this should be heart dash outline. Then we're going to give it a color of primary. So colors.primary and a size of 28 pixels. So say size and we'll give it 28 pixels. So that's all for the icon. So the next step, we're going to add the add to cart and btn. And to add the btn below the icon container, we are going to add a view. So for this view, we are going to give it a style of add to cart btn. So I'll say style, I'll say style dot add to cart btn. So I'm going to get the style and I'm going to style it. So for the add to cart btn, we are going to give it a height of 50 pixels. So I'll say height, we'll give 50 pixels, a flex of 1. So it's going to take the available width. Then we'll give the justify content of center, align items of center. Then over here, we are going to give it a background color of primary. So say background color, I'll say colors dot primary, a border radius of 10, border radius, and give 10 pixels. Then we'll give it a padding horizontal of 20 pixels and a margin horizontal of 10 pixels. So say padding horizontal 20 pixels, then margin horizontal of 10 pixels, 20 pixels. Hit save. So this should be margin vertical, not horizontal. So right now we have the add to cart btn. So now we are going to add the text inside the button. So add the text component. I'll add the text add to cart, and we are going to style the text. So for this text, we are going to give it a color of white. So say color, I'll say colors dot white, and that's all for the text. And I think that'll be all for the detail screen. So let me bring up the UI. So we have the home screen. So we have the header, the text of best furniture for your home, the search input, the categories, and I'm able to select the categories. And also we have the text of top furniture and these cards over here. Then we have the popular text and the popular card. So actually we forgot to add this icon over here in the popular item card. So we are going to open the home screen component, and inside the popular item card we are going to add the icon. So to add the icon over here, we are going to add a view. So add the view, then we are going to give it a style of icon container. So that is the same style we applied to this view over here. So I'm going to hit save. So right now we have the icon container. So now we are going to add the icon itself. And for the icon, we are going to give it a name of heart. So now we are going to add the color. And for the color, we are going to add the color depending if the liked is true or not. So say furniture dot liked. If it's true, we'll add the red color. So say colors dot red. Else we add the primary color. So say colors dot primary. So I hit save. So right now we have the icon, and that's all for the icon. So let's go back to the UI. So over here we have the popular card, and once I click on this card, it's going to take us to the details screen. So over here we have the details, the header, the image, we have the name, the description text, and also we have this description over here. Then we have the price, the quantity, and also we have the add to cart button and the icon over here. And that's all for the video. If you find the video helpful, please like and share. And also if you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing, turn on post notifications so I can find time uploading a new video. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.